Being part of the ISV Connect program helps our visibility with Microsoft sellers, which in turn helps us when we're introduced to new partners.
It has accelerated our entrance into new markets, and our product is developing with higher quality and at higher speed than it would otherwise have.
Things like ISV licensing, handling our licenses just like any Microsoft first-party applications. We see that as a big benefit.
What ISV Connect program introduced is very different level of confidence with our customer. And with the Microsoft expanding the program, we are expecting to grow our ISV portfolio significantly.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. My name is Brian Galicia. I lead our global Dynamics or BizApps ISV business here at Microsoft. You might not have seen me for a while because I enjoyed a 2-month sabbatical, which was a great benefit that Microsoft provides. And so I'm back, and this is our kind of a first of many of ISV Connect live events that we'll do throughout the remainder of the calendar year. And it's an honor and pleasure to welcome Claudio to the stage and from ToolsGroup. So before we do a quick introduction on him and go through the typical types of questions I typically asked, I want to again welcome everyone to the event and quick housekeeping items. So throughout the event, we'd love to get engagement from the people watching, especially the ones watching live right now. So if you want to put where you're watching from, maybe you're watching from Texas, where Claudio is actually sitting, or you're watching from Seattle, where I am, or anywhere around the world. We'd love to hear where you're watching from. We'll do a shout out at the very beginning, just to do a call out of where you may be watching. The second is that if there's a question that you might have based upon what Claudio is articulating with the benefits that ToolsGroup provides, feel free to ask the question. And it's as simple as going into the LinkedIn feed, typing in a question, and then we'll see it. And then if it makes sense and we have time, I'll actually ask that question in real time of Claudio. And then finally, feel free to utilize one of the emoji icons that are in the LinkedIn feed. That gives Claudio and I insight and indication that the actual content is actually resonating, because we do this because we want to really surface up and highlight, specifically with an ISV like ToolsGroup, what's the value it brings to Dynamics. And in this case, we're going to be really focused on our finance and operations component of the business process, specifically around supply chain management. I know some of you might go in supply chain management. What does that really mean? Or some of you may not be as familiar, but is a critical piece if you're in certain industries and supply chain is driving how you take goods and services to the market. It's a critical capability that ToolsGroup actually provides. So that being said, welcome Claudio to the stage. And like I always do, why don't you describe a little bit about yourself, and then maybe what's one thing not on your LinkedIn profile. And then, sorry to interrupt. One thing I also should have called out is today is actually Indigenous Peoples Day. So we want to acknowledge and celebrate. This typically happens on the second Monday of each October. But we do want to acknowledge and celebrate Indigenous People Day, which is to really honor the cultures and histories of Native Americans. The day is centered around reflecting on tribal roots and the stories and that impacted Native Americans, that all of us are, because the United States wasn't the United States initially, when we all want to acknowledge that. So again, let's all celebrate Indigenous People Day today. So that being said, Claudio, sorry to interrupt. I realized that was one thing that I should have said at the very beginning. But why don't you describe what do you do at ToolsGroup? And the question I love to ask all my guest speakers is, what's one thing on your LinkedIn profile that you're open to sharing?
Okay. Well, thank you, Brian, for having me. Let me say that I'm really excited to be here with you and your audience to talk about ToolsGroup, Microsoft, and the joint work that we are doing together, especially in the area of Dynamics and Power Platform. And of course, to talk about our SO99 Plus for Dynamics. What that thing is, well, SO99 Plus for Dynamics is our advanced supply chain planning suite for Dynamics 365 F&O. What I do at ToolsGroup? Well, at ToolsGroup, I have the role of Cloud Product Manager, and head of data engineering services. What this means is that I'm leading a team of data engineers that is designing integration worldwide, leveraging Microsoft technology, of course. But I'm also product manager for all ToolsGroup's cloud products. So definitely SO99 Plus for Dynamics is one of them. What about me? Well, I moved to the US from the ToolsGroup's Milan office in Italy. I would say back in 2017. And since then, I was able to visit many places here in the US and in the world. But before settling down in Dallas-Fort Worth, where I live now. Let me just say that last year was a really, really, really busy year. New house, new baby. So what I do when I don't work, I like spending time with my family, with my 1-year-old baby that is definitely keeping us busy. And we love traveling, exploring new places, and of course, being Italian, trying local food. There are many places that are in our wish list, but I would say that we would love to see the Grand Canyon and Hawaii pretty soon.
I love it, Claudio. So maybe the first question would be, well, congratulations. Can't imagine what I have 2 daughters myself, but they're older. They're 15 and 12. So if I rewind, I know what you and your spouse is going through, because having a 1-year-old definitely keeps you busy. But I guess maybe what's your favorite? Knowing that you want to go to the Grand Canyon, I'd highly recommend. That's a great place to go. And for those of you who aren't in the U.S., it's in Arizona. And so typically people either go to Phoenix or they go to Las Vegas, and they kind of go in between in the middle to go there. But what's your favorite place that you've been to? Outside of Italy, of course, that's where you're from. When you mentioned traveling.
One place that we really loved was Washington, D.C. We thought it was great. I think that you need to be there to really appreciate it, right? When you are in front of the Capitol and you see this long walk, and there are a lot of things to see in the area, and it's really great, right? You can walk from the Capitol to the White House and spend some good time over there. So we really love it.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, go ahead.
We go to DC at least once per year because we love it so much. There are so many things. So we really love DC.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite places too. My family lives just outside of DC in Virginia. And what you're referring to is, for those who have never been there, it's called the Mall. And so you can walk from the Capitol all the way down to the Lincoln Memorial. And it's this amazing place. And in between, there's a whole bunch of museums and things, to your point, to do. And you can imagine, it is the nation's capital. It is the capital of the United States, and Washington, D.C. It's unique because it's not it's a city, but it's not a state. It's basically this component, to your point, component that has so many things to do. So that's fantastic. I do want to shout out Angela Borgiano. I wish I could speak Italian again. I've been to Italy a few times and love the Italian culture, etc. But Angela, thank you for taking the time and watching from Italy. So that being said, again, anyone else, we'd love to hear where you're watching from. So if you want to put a comment in the window, we'll do a quick shout out throughout the event. So that being said, Claudio, why don't we get into the meat of the dialogue? And for those of you who don't know, for people who don't know Tools Group, I know you did a quick introduction around supply chain, and that's the IP that Tools Group has. But why don't you give a sense for the people listening? What is the business process? What do you impact? What does Tools Group do to potentially, if a customer is listening, let's say I'm in manufacturing and I'm listening to this conversation, what's the business process in this scenario that you guys help to solve on top of working with Microsoft Dynamics F&O?
Yeah, great, thank you. Tools Group provides AI-powered supply chain planning SaaS solutions based on Microsoft Stack and Azure. And what our solutions are doing is to help customers increase product availability, driving the entire supply chain planning process. And we do this while aiming to minimize the cost. And the good thing is that the system is automated. So it makes most of the day-to-day decisions that are needed for supply, transformation, stocking, but also dispatching products across the entire supply network. So it's a really powerful and automated solution. Our solution, SO99 Plus, supports planning entirely, leveraging three main and scalable models. The first one, it's leveraging advanced demand forecasting on using a fully probabilistic model. What that means is that this model automatically learns from the past to create forecasts that are not only accurate, but also reliable and allow to plan a better service level and also to optimize. But I think that one important thing about ToolsGroup is that we have been in this industry since many years. And because of this, we had the opportunity to enrich our forecasting engine with machine learning. So we are able to improve how we solve typically difficult problems like seasonality that has been enriched with seasonality clustering, for example, or with new product introduction, or modeling the effects of weather, but also other external factors, like the impact of our competitors. And we do all these leveraging machine learning and AI. And of course, we have many of these engines, and they're all new and exciting. And one of the most important one also is the one related to promotions, but there are many of them in our model that is generating forecasts. But then there is our second model that is on customer service-driven inventory optimization. So using this model, our planners are able to do something that is, for the people that are in this area, probably you know that modeling fast movers as well as the slow movers with one solution is not easy at all. So we do this in a seamless way. And we are able to do this in a way so that we are able to achieve higher service level while lowering the stock levels. And we do this because we have our proprietary stock mix engine. So from forecasts to inventory optimization to the third model, the replenishment engine, that is totally integrated with our tool and is helpful to reduce the bullwhip effect, modeling the network in an integrated way. So that planners are able to focus on what is really important, and our software frees them from a boring and repetitive tasks. So I think this is really good. This the fact that really ToolsGroup solution and SO99 Plus in this case, they are really helping our planners to focus on what is really important. In general, you have to think about, Brian, that we have always been an extremely innovative company. Everybody is talking about machine learning now, but we have been the pioneers of the adoption of machine learning in supply chain in 2007. And it was a big thing at the time, and it's a big thing now. And this is why, because we think that machine learning is really important to improve our algorithm. And we have to remember again that we are the first offering a fully probabilistic planning model. What that means is that, according to analysts, that means that is the most innovative approach to deal with high uncertainty and to deal with all the issues that we are seeing nowadays with the supply chain. So with the uncertainty of the demand signal and the supply. So a really automated solution that can help planners to do their work better.
Well said, Claudio. I mean, this is an area that, to be transparent, I'm not as familiar as. I know the entire CRM ERP background, but never have actually worked as physical company. I've been to a lot of plants and manufacturing areas. It's been fascinating to see the entire end-to-end process. And just to recap, I think I caught all the value components that ToolsGroup brings. And so demand forecasting, like the three areas you're talking about: demand forecasting, inventory optimization, and replenishment, all natively put together so that all these sources of information, to your point with AI, all comes together so that a planner can really drive. Did I summarize that in the right way?
Absolutely.
Okay, good.
Yes, that's it. That's it.
Okay, good. So let's do a quick shout out. So Angela, watching, if for those of you, of course, looking at the LinkedIn feed, or maybe you're watching the replay later, this site, toolsgroup.com/solutions, does give a really good overview of the capabilities that Claudio just described. Also want to give a quick shout out to Fabio. Fabio, thank you for watching from sunny Florida. Hopefully you're safe. I know that there was a huge hurricane last week. Hopefully everything's good with, hopefully it passed by your house and didn't impact you or your family and friends. So let's talk about Claudio. I mean, that's such a great overview for people trying to understand, okay, what does ToolsGroup do and what the benefits and the scenarios. So if you describe, like, what's been the experience from ToolsGroup working in the Microsoft ecosystem, because you can imagine what you provide is such an amazing value proposition to Microsoft customers. And I like how you commented that it's not just Dynamics. You run this on Azure. And so that's important because it gives customers who are running the infrastructure on Azure have peace of mind that an ISV like ToolsGroup has invested in ensuring that the technology is aligning towards what they already invested in and having that end-to-end. So maybe you can describe a little bit about what's just been the experience of ToolsGroup within being part of the Microsoft ecosystem and Dynamics.
Yeah, sure. Well, we are proud ISV Connect certified partner, and we are actively engaged with dynamic sellers, routes in multiple regions, like Asia Pacific and Europe. And we start working to extend our presence in North America. And this is, well, being part of the ISV Connect program for us is extremely important, because like this, we are able to create that network of contacts that is so important, and contacts and expertise that will allow to extend our market penetration with efficiency and efficacy. So again, ISV Connect for us is really important to extend our presence. We had the possibility to work with Microsoft in different areas, last but not least with SO99 Plus for Dynamics. But again, our products are, our SaaS offering is based on Azure. So all our SaaS products run on Azure. We have hundreds of installations worldwide. So being part of the ISV Connect amplifies our reach globally.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Claudio. I mean, I think you hit it spot on, just to do it at scale, because of course you have a lot of resources, because you mentioned that you moved from Italy to the US, but just the ability to connect with a lot of different contacts, including Microsoft sellers around the world, because supply chain does just not exist in one location or another. Supply chain is global. And so being able, to your point, maximize that connection point, and it's great to hear that commentary. But I think also just the fact that you've invested on the Microsoft technology that allows you to scale and allows the right types of things for customers to look at that and go, oh, okay, I've invested in Microsoft already. Having an ISV that provides this amazing value around supply chain with Dynamics is super important around leveraging the technology that they are investing in and using. So let's get to one of my favorite questions, which is maybe you'd share some examples. I mean, what's some customer stories that you're open to providing some insight on of people who've gotten the value of, let's say, 1, 2, or 3 of those scenarios around forecasting, inventory optimization, or replenishment? Maybe you can talk a little bit about what were they using before, or what type of manual processes were they doing that then they came across ToolsGroup with Dynamics that then revolutionized the way and optimized the way they were doing things?
Yeah, thank you. It's a good question, because I think that, um, out of the many collaborations and joint engagements that we had with Microsoft, I think there is one specific case that I think it would be interesting for you and your audience. And it's to hear about this SO99 Plus for Dynamics. That is our product for Dynamics 365. And what this application is doing is creating a seamless integration with Dynamics 365, improving the experience of the users that are of the Dynamics users. And we did that recently also, together with Microsoft Consulting Services, and on a project that has seen winning us all over the competition to get a leading distributor of swimming pool supplies. So before in the introduction of SO99 Plus for Dynamics, I would say that all the processes were manual, right? So a lot of interaction from the user, right? Leveraging all the capabilities of Dynamics 365. But the idea was really, okay, we want to push further and push on automation and optimization of our supply chain. This is where SO99 Plus for Dynamics comes into place. And it does that leveraging a lot of Microsoft technologies that are embedded. So the entire process is fully transparent for the users, right? There is a lot of intelligence, a lot of technology behind the scenes, but for the user it's transparent. So this is, I think, is the good thing for the user, right? The user only gets the UI and the UX, but behind the scenes, we offer a seamless integration with Power Platform, Dataverse. We leverage Data Factory. We definitely leverage the Azure Data Lake and Synapse. So a lot of technology, Microsoft-based technology that we use behind the scenes, and makes the life of our users, the value that we generate towards our users and planners, is great, because there are a lot of complexity that they don't see, but out of which they take the advantages, they take the value out of it. So a terrific opportunity for to see in action SO99 Plus for Dynamics. We have seen it in this distributor of swimming pool supplies.
I love it. And you touched upon other areas of the business application platform, which is Power Apps. And I think that in itself, when you think about full-blown, does someone need full-blown enterprise resource planning, etc., but maybe not. Maybe they just need this component and can leverage the Power Platform and Power Apps to go do that. That's a great call out, Claudio, on how your customers or our joint customers are getting the value between the two. So as we wrap up, and again, this is open to people listening. If there's a question that you have for Claudio, we have a few minutes left as we kind of just do a wrap up of the dialogue. Maybe you can just talk about someone listening live or maybe the replay. What should they do? So if I'm a Microsoft seller and listening to this, what call to action do you have? If maybe I'm a partner, because that's one of the things that people have listened to these ISV Connect live shows that we've done in the past. One of the great values of also being part of the ecosystem is connecting with other partners. And so maybe you can also comment on what should other partners be doing, whether they're an SI or an ISV, that maybe go, oh, maybe there's some synergies. And the last, of course, is the customers. Someone might be listening to this going, wait a second, I'm having challenges with forecasting or optimization or replenishment. What would they do? And so maybe, Claudio, you can spend a few minutes just talking about some call to actions and useful links or things that people should be thinking about.
Well, in short, call us. But in general, I would say that we deal regularly with customers that have too much inventory or stockouts, or that we are struggling with long tail demand or supply network complexity nowadays after COVID. We hear a lot of customers asking for help to improve their forecast accuracy, to improve their service level, or just simply to reduce their excess inventory. We are currently working with Microsoft, and we are really interested in extending the partnership to dynamic resellers to generate business together and create immediate value for our customers. And how we do it and how we can do it together? Well, we offer a data-driven assessment. So what we did is we asked the customer to provide us data. We can show the value of our solution. And in this way, it will be immediately clear for them the value that they can get out of the technology, out of our technology. And it will be clear the benefit in comparison with their previous setup. So I think that you can reach out to us through our website. I think there should be a link in the chat. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Let me give a quick shout out to I'm probably not pronouncing his name in Italian, like Francesco, or I apologize if I'm not pronouncing your name, but here's the link. But also, let me just put in a more, as Claudio and I were doing the pre-show, one thing that will make it easy is if anyone just goes to aka.ms/toolsgroup, that takes you to the same site. It's just an easier way if you just want to screenshot this and visit the site later. It does provide much more richer detail. That's actually the IP listed, one of the many different IP listed by ToolsGroup in our app source and marketplace that will give you links to other things, but also contact me. Since we do this on LinkedIn, of course, Claudio, you could probably expect that people connecting with you or sending you a LinkedIn request, feel free to do it that way as well, include myself. That is probably the quickest way for you to get connected, and then also utilize LinkedIn to just send a message to say, hey, Claudio, I watched this either live or via replay, and here's a situation I'd love to learn more. I love when partners share to say, send us the data, of course, in a secure manner, but if you send us the data, we will show you and prove to you that this is what the output could be. And I love how you as an ISV do that, because that's probably the quickest way for someone to understand that by then taking on your solution, what type of immediate value could they bring? So it's not just a demo, it's actually a demo utilizing their own data. So as we wrap up, any other closing comments, Claudio, before we go to a video? So we do have roughly about a minute video that really gives more details of the value that Claudio and ToolsGroup shared. But Claudio, any other comments before we wrap up?
Just thank you again, Brian. It has been great to be here today with you and your audience. And well, we hope to see a lot of interest in our solution and in SO99 Plus for Dynamics. And well, see you there.
Great. Sounds good. Well, grazie, Claudio. We truly appreciate the partnership that ToolsGroup has with Microsoft. For those listening live or via the replay, thank you again for making the time and taking the time to listen to these. We do these every Monday at 8 o'clock. So next week, we're highlighting another ISV. So stay tuned. I will be posting that event sometime today. And also just follow both of us, follow ToolsGroup, follow what we're doing with Microsoft, connect with Claudio or I. And then also, if anyone wants to follow these series, because we do these again every Monday, aka.ms/ISV Connect Live is just the simplest channel. Just goes to the YouTube channel that compiles all these things. So Claudio, thank you so much. Have an amazing October, start to the fall season, into the holidays. Truly appreciate ToolsGroup, and enjoy for everyone watching. Please enjoy this video. Take care, everybody. Talk soon.